that kindness is not innate. It's a choice that people make every day,
Sitting here and your intention and your energy can do like so much than somebody who's out on trip going and interacting in some in order to have fun.
Passion sometimes fizzles out as well, but purpose is something that keeps you going. So maybe today I want to send this message through a podcast. Tomorrow I want to send this message by making short movies.
What is the shit sandwich that you are willing to go through? Because you
Hmm.
have to go through those hard work phases, you have to go through those failures, uh, those struggling phases. What shit sandwich are you willing to go through?
Shift towards the feminine energy. So you will have more women centric brands, more women centric businesses that are on the rise. Makeup, clothes, textiles, fashion, anything very feminine energy. And that doesn't mean that it's only in terms of women. Also men would be more involved in these things.
I was very surprised of people knowing their traumas very deeply. They know what childhood traumas they've had, they know how they have become, and they know everything. And at the same time, they bluntly accept it in my DMs that they are using other people for their own emotional healing. And I was like, you have to stop it. And they're like, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't know how to handle us on our own, and we need other people to kind of give us that emotional healing. Hi everyone, welcome back to Spirit Says. We are so glad that you're enjoying the series. On today's episodes, we are going to take up a few of the Q&As, some general feedback, and also give you an overview for the upcoming year, that is 2024. So let's dive into it.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to tell you that this is our last episode of the season one, and with this, we'll wrap up the season. So I just want to take out some time and thank you all for your overwhelming response that we got and the love that we got. We read all your texts, and we are so glad that our podcast helped you in some way or the other. And I also would like to thank Antriksha because she had so many options and she could have done this with anyone, but she chose me. And I feel so special, and our journey has been amazing. And we had gone through various ups and downs while recording these podcasts. Not in our relationship, I'm just kidding. For with, for recording the podcast. So and yes, and she chose me, and we have discussed such intense and serious topics during this, and I love it, and I hope there are more to come. And so when I started this podcast, and Diksha, the main message that I wanted to give out was that kindness is not innate. It's a choice that people make every day. How you show up in your life, how you show up for others, how we say something, how you show up when nobody's watching. So it's all intention behind how you behave. And similar is with charity. If you are told to do charity, you are doing by some astrologer or by some psychic that it'll heal you or something like that. You're doing it because of that, or you're doing it just because you want to do for good for other people. So, and when you do charity to heal yourself, or when astrologers tell you that if you donate something, it'll be good, there is this expectation that comes with it, that, oh, I'll get a payout out of this, I'll get healed, I get this, I'll get more money because I did a good deed. So it nullifies the effect of what that charity was supposed to be from the beginning. And this is how intentions play a very big role in our actions, and I wanted to uh, give out that message to the people.
Yes, absolutely. I think intention plays a very important role, especially if we are doing anything in life. I think intention and devotion is something that separates our work from everybody else. So I also feel like, because in the past, like 1 or 2 years, I also have been onto this journey where I wanted to find, where I wanted to actually meet some teachers in person, or I wanted to have those kind of conversations. But what life gave me was that I kind of missed every chance of meeting somebody that I wanted to meet, or like the guru or the teacher that I wanted to have. I couldn't have them for my guidance. And every time, uh, the the message that was coming to me was that your intention for doing something is what matters. You don't need to be, you don't need to be going and visiting some place. You don't need to
Mm,
be interacting with so and so kind of people, but just sitting wherever you are, you can set an intention for yourself for this life, and it can be greater than the rest of the things. For example, if I want to like travel to some holy lands, okay, or like you want to do it but you can't at this moment, but if you
mhm,
are sitting here and your intention and your energy can do like so much than somebody who's out on trip going and interacting in some in order to have fun or just to have like make some videos for Instagram or things like that.
mhm,
So that
mhm,
is not going to be as much intentional, as much beneficial as somebody who's just sitting and uh, like praying or setting an intention with the goodness of our heart. So that, I think that was a message that came for me as well in this year, where I felt very strongly that our intention is something that separates us from others and it makes a huge difference. So definitely I agree with that.
mhm. And it's so important, especially especially right now, where you see the social media has been so polarized. So people don't get how big intention and prayers can play, how big a role they can play. Because if you don't post something on stories, means you are not on the team or whatever they want to assume, right? And that's really harsh because you have to know that how big how big intentions and prayers can go for some people.
Mhm. Definitely, yes. I think one thing, again, on the lines of intention that I've gotten in my DMs was about the negative energy and people's negative intentions harming you in some way. For example, we post on
Mhm,
social media or we share our dreams and life decisions with other people. So there was this message that I got, which was regarding like the negative energy, the evil eye, and also like sharing our stuff with our own family members. So there was this curiosity that does evil eye play a role in that as well when we are interacting with our own family members. So I'd like to like touch upon it a little bit. So I firmly believe that we have all kinds of energies in this world. So yes, like evil eye, or like in simpler terms, it's just like somebody's envious of you or jealous of you, and they're just like
mhm,
at times unintentionally also people can have that negative energy being directed towards you. So that does happen, but at the same time I also feel like if you are doing something with the goodness of your heart, if you're having like your own rituals, if you're having your own prayers or your own little things going on, your energy and your aura gets strengthened over time, and that
mhm,
acts naturally, that positive energy around you naturally acts as a protective shield. So I do believe that yes, energies can affect us negatively, but if you have that belief with yourself and with the universe, it also protects you beautifully. And with the family members, I just feel like it's not so much about the evil eye but more about our energy being dissipated, because when we are excited about something and we discuss it with our friends or with our family members, we use all of that energy in sharing and explaining and discussing things, and when it comes to like the action part, naturally our energy is wasted in sharing the stuff. So when it comes to the action parts, we fail to put in the required effort that is needed for something to happen. And so with family members, I just feel like we waste a lot of energy in the conversation, and that is why
mhm.
we feel like something is not happening, because we are not putting in the efforts. So with
Yeah,
family
yeah.
members, I think it's a very logical take, but with the strangers, yes, a little privacy is recommended.
Reco-
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, in any social sphere you are, there might be people who have hint of jealousy for you, but that doesn't mean that they are sending you bad evil eye, bad vibes. But it's just that maybe they want to be something and they don't have that, action or that um, courage in them to take that action. So that's where a second of jealousy comes in. But then also they are happy for you. So that evil energy doesn't count. I wouldn't say that's like traditionally evil. But yes, as far as black magic is concerned, Antriksha, I feel like yes, people in like at home use a lot of terms like black magic. They did this on me. And if you see on social media, you see like, oh, my relatives did black magic on me, But I think black magic is something very detailed. You have to know proper rituals. You have to have that person's some kind of DNA. Why I'm telling how to do black magic to people.
Mine.
It's very detailed. Okay, it's like white magic, and you have to have proper knowledge of scriptures and stuff. So you can't just, and not anybody can enter and do it on you. Yes, people do spiritual attacks, but that's like very knowledgeable people who know stuff about magic and everything. So, and plus the karma that comes with it is very, very bad. You and some people might argue that, okay, if we can't wait until they get their karma, it's unfair. But I think that's a bit revenge based, because if somebody is sending you evil eye, maybe you are protected, or maybe you get hurt a little bit. But the thing is that in the long term, universe will balance that out. In the short term, yes, you might lose something materially, and that's heartbreaking, but I still think that that's redirection. I don't think that you didn't get that because your friend or whatever sent you bad eye, but that was a redirection from universe's part in some way or the other. So it's not always because you don't get that because a thing you want because of bad eye. What do you think?
For black magic, I think what I have heard is, I personally believe, like, yeah, people go to different lens. People love to play with energy, and we should not play with energy.
Mm,
And people go to different lens for materialistic gains, right? Uh, w- Specifically for black magic, I feel like the consequences, the negative consequences, the karmic consequences that you are going to get if you are into the black magic stuff is for not just for your own life or for your own soul, but it comes for generations, for like many, many generations in your family lineage if you're into the negative magic stuff. So we have to be very aware of those things before we go into like small materialistic gains. And also I feel like I don't know why people, we are humans, and I do get that uh, desire to have those gains where we are
mhm,
going out and
mm,
harming other people and using all sorts of stuff. But I also feel like, again, strengthening your, increasing the positive energy in your own life with prayer, with intention, with good karma, acts as a protective shield with all those things.
mhm.
And I do believe, I do believe in all the good and the bad energy. So I
Yeah,
don't say like these things are not present, but we can always have measures to, for
protect
protection.
ourselves. Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, I think these fears, they come, I mean, these are just fears of not being successful. That's why you just want to take a shortcut. And that's present in everyone, whether you get a prediction from somebody, whether you go and like get, I don't know, ask coaches to solve your life or whatever, because everybody is fearing that they won't get successful, they won't get what they want, and then you go from that intention and try to harm others, take what they have. So yeah, and fear, everybody has fears, like even us right now, we haven't dealt with all our fears, but at this point in time, we know that harming other people because of something I can't do wouldn't help either. So you have to work through them in a healthy way, in a way that's more long term and sustainable.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
karma is real. I think we don't realize it, but when you also mentioned about the revenge thing, right? So I think I heard it in the television Mahabharata only. I think there was this uh, scene that was going on, and that clicked something for me, which was regarding Draupadi being very angry and hurt by
Mm,
whatever has
mm,
happened with her. And Lord Krishna told her that if she kind of gets into this revenge mode, that will interfere with her own karma. So life will happen, and Lord Krishna is going to, do something that is going to balance things out, or whatever. He's going to punish them, the culprits, in his own way. But if she goes out into this revengeful mode, she's also going to face the karmic consequences of the bad energy
Mm-hmm.
that she's going to be filled with. Right. So that
Mm-hmm.
was something that I think I first heard it there, or that was very, like, it was an impactful scene, I would say. But that happens as well. Revenge is nothing at all. It just interferes with our own uh, karma, and we are going to, if we go out and hurt somebody, somebody has hurt us, and we go out and try to hurt them, we are going to be hurt again, and the cycle is, you know,
Yeah,
it's keep
good
on
to con
going. Yeah. So we just leave
true.
it, and it all comes back in its own time, I feel.
Yes, exactly. Everything falls into place. So don't get into this revenge mode that I'm gonna go and kill them. Yeah. So also this also reminds me of the few questions that you and I received about astrological prediction, even though we have said this so many times, but we can repeat it. That how to differentiate between destiny, self-belief, and actions, and can people work beyond astrological predictions? Like, what do you feel about that? Because there are multiple questions that people ask: when will I get the job, when will I get married? So there is, this, they are in this desperate energy because they are in this when energy instead of that being and doing energy. So how to also overcome that?
I personally received very hilarious messages of, like, uh, in which company do you think will I get
And
accepted? Yes.
everyone thinks
And I
you're
want, yeah, and I wanted to reply also, like, some made up date and some made up corporation in my mind. I
what if
wanted
it
to,
would have come true?
yeah, but I am in no place can I detect that for anyone, not even for myself. But yeah, the DMs that I've received by one reel that I shared of our episode was very, like, I received very funny DMs. And again, it's the repetition, but it's like, yes, predictions are true if you're not going to do anything big or any drastic change in your life. Predictions are going to be true, but you have to realize your own uh, action input, and every time you're making a decision, every time you're taking an action, the predictions can be changed, right? So it all depends on, one person was also like, will my life be good or bad? Or, like, very direct question was like, how does my future look like to you? And I was like, and I did reply to that DM, and I was like, your future is what you make of it. So it all depends on
Exactly.
how you are going to perceive life, and what you are going to do with your life. So that's just like a couple of the DMs that we have received, and the repetition of our previous episodes only.
Yes, exactly. A prediction has to be has will come true if your karma is that way. So something I received was somebody told this person that their relationship wouldn't be good, right? And now they had this prediction. Now they are obviously fearful, very fearful, and they were taking action towards their partner in this from this frame of mind as well. So now they were seeing them from a different lens. Now they were not as open or communicating stuff with them that was coming up. So obviously all these things, if they acted in this way, obviously the prediction would have come true, because if it would have destroyed your relationship because you're self-sabotaging, right? But then you have to think that, okay, I have to act from a place of love because I want to save this relationship. Even if they said that, I would give my 100% to love them, to show them that I care, and not act in a way that, yeah, that prediction comes true. And then when the prediction comes true, you're like, yeah, they were right. No, they weren't right. You did it because of your actions. So keep that in mind. I know it's not very easy because you are very fearful of what will happen, and you're not in the frame of mind to be calm and to be sitting there. But it only comes when you break the cycle, when you take that conscious action to do that. It won't come just one day you wake up and your whole life changes, your whole life is good or bad. That doesn't happen. it's all dependent on your actions and how you choose to like live life. Do you choose to break from what people think of you, or do you want to live in that misery and continue living? So you can't ask other people about if your life will get better or not because of how scared you are to take actions.
And I think these kind of predictions can just be like an excuse, because if it wasn't for the prediction, something else might have happened that would trigger
Mm-hmm.
your self-sabotaging, uh,
Tendencies, yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, trauma within yourself. Something other
Yeah.
would have
Mm-hmm.
happened, and you were meant to go into that direction where you needed the work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I feel like these kind of predictions can at times act just as an excuse or just as a way to show your shadows to yourself.
Mm-hmm. But do you think, Antriksha, if you give like free advice to people like this on in DMs, they don't take it as seriously as when you ask for a payout from them,
I do
and
feel
then
like
it's
that
more, yeah.
because I reply to as many DMs as possible. And even with like my own friends and family, when you are having a conversation, they don't take you seriously, right? Because they're just like, okay, yeah, we don't need this right now. And they take it lightly. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
DMs, also, I feel like and it's so strange, like the conversations that I've had, people know their own traumas, people know what work is needed. At times I tell them, or like with DMs only we figure out uh what is it that you need to heal within yourself, and how your life has been, and what changes you are required to make, what paths you need to take, what healing you are required. But then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do it later, or we don't
Mm.
have time for that, or like whatever. And I feel like I get very much involved in people's, like, giving them
Uh,
the solutions and everything, and then they are just like, okay, we'll see about it when we have time in life, or something like that.
okay.
So yeah, I
Attachment.
do feel like people have to have that urge from within. I can't pull
Mm-hmm.
people, we can't pull people to a place where we are like with like motivational
Exactly.
speeches like do something for yourself. I don't think that works. At the end of the day, that devotion, that motivation has to come from within for each one
Mm-hmm.
of us. And whenever you're ready, I'm here. That is like
Mm-hmm.
my new
Yeah.
mantra that I'm following. Whenever you're ready, I'm here, but I'm not going to like convince you of the things that you need to do or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. True. I feel the same because some obviously I feel a little bad when people, just dismiss it like this because I worked on it so much, I was involved. But then, yes, as you said, that I can't force them to change their life. Either the devotion is there, or when they like really face adversity or face this tower moment in their life, and then they'll start to change their life. And I was also thinking in astrology there is this thing called Saturn return or Sade Sati, where it's where you learn lessons, and Saturn give you obstacles. So there were so many questions of what will happen, it's so scary, please tell us, please tell us. So it's nothing to be scared of, because people think there'll be obstacles and delays, so it's a scary thing. Saturn's main purpose is to teach you lessons, and those lessons are taught by throwing in obstacles to see if you're actually committed to the things that you're doing, and bringing in delays to also see that can if you can push through, and are you committed to that thing. I think that's why we were facing so many delays at the
I personally
yeah.
feel like Saturn is a nice thing. The Sade Sati thing, I feel like if you are ready to face your shadows, to face your lessons, I feel
Yeah,
like it can become the best time of your life. I've seen
yeah,
it for my dad
exactly.
happening, I've seen it for
Yeah.
many people happening, and it is going to turn in whatever way you perceive it as, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. But because people want this overnight fame and money, so they think that it'll delay these things, so it's a bad thing. But the thing it does for your soul, the thing it does for your growth, evolution, and if these are your main focus, then there's nothing to be scared of, because you're gonna
Mhm.
come out as a wonderful person on the other side. So think about that, like what. goals you have in mind, what your vision is it this short term, is it material, or is it a mix of both material and spiritual?
Yes, definitely. As the next thing that I received was about that we received was about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my I was very surprised of people knowing their traumas very deeply. They know what childhood traumas they've had, they know how they have become, and they know everything. And at the same time, they bluntly accept it in my DMs that they are using other people for their own emotional healing. So that was something that I was like blown away by, that and you are again, you're wanting to be in different relationships because you're looking for a human being that can heal you. And I was like, you have to stop it. And they're like, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't know how to handle us on our own, and we need other people to kind of give us that emotional healing, that emotional support. That was again a big surprise that came to me.
Okay.
And another thing was about friendships. So there were a couple of DMs, people entering into college and people entering into corporate world also, who were worried that they were not able to form genuine bonds with other human beings. Friendships also, platonic relationships also, they were not
Mm-hmm.
able to have good friendships, and so they were worried of their life ahead. And so I personally feel like, I think this happens because we're always in this counting stage where we are counting, okay, I have done this, what has the other person done for me? And we're always counting whenever we are in that giving energy, and we shouldn't sometimes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we need to be in that giving energy more. And obviously people would love to have us around, or people would love to, you free with a free spirit, you genuinely, you compliment someone, or you ask
Mm-hmm.
someone for something, you initiate a conversation with the goodness of your heart. I don't think people are going to be like cutting you off. But people don't want to initiate, people don't want to
Yeah.
give out without knowing that the other person will be in it. So they get into this like desperate energy. Okay, if I have initiated the conversation, that person has not replied, so I won't do any further conversations in my life and stuff like that. So we need to
Mm-hmm.
be a little open with the giving energy, I think, and the right people
Mm-hmm.
will flow into our life when it's time. So that was like my
Yes.
take on friendships.
No, that's very accurate. Yeah. But also, how in school we are never taught to be that social. We don't talk that much. And even if we want to hang out in talk in class normally with a group of friends, even we are discouraged from doing that. So obviously, those social skills we are not taught those social skills that we need to survive this networking corporate world or even this adulthood. You also have to work on that your confidence, obviously, because you have to walk up to that person and say something. Maybe the first time you were shaky, it's fine, it's okay. You'll get more confident again and again. And but if you are in that open you have that open aura that you want those friendship, people will come to you. And this really happened to me because for the past 2 years I was really healing, so I wanted to be alone and be only with myself and focus on my purpose. And then this year I was like, yes, I'm ready to have new friendships. And obviously people just I've just met such amazing people in the past few months who are like I would want to be friends with them forever. And one thing happened. I didn't want to go to this party actually. There was a party in my university, and I was like, nah, I don't want to make small talk, and I don't want to be there with like people that are going to be drunk. So what am I going to do? But then I was like, okay, because my major decision making is done by universe. Give me a sign if you want me to go. So then I got a sign, and I was like, okay, I'll go. Then I met a girl, so she was alone there too. So I just went there and talked to her, and I was like, oh, she's nice. And then 15 minutes in, she was telling me how she was confused in life. She didn't know her purpose and how she found her purpose in Buddhism and everything. I don't want to say too much, but how she found her purpose. And I was like, how is it that in a university with such diverse people, I found a girl I found like a girl that matches my moral values, my what I am doing, what I'm teaching, and she is looking for that. So that was something that blew my mind. So if you're open to relationship, universe will send you amazing people. So yes, you should go up to them and talk, but also the work begins within you that how what kind of people you want to attract in your life.
Definitely. I think I've
Yeah.
also received feedback. I've also had talks with people, and every time a lot of the people have manifested very good interactions with other people when they were just like open about it, and they were willing to put themselves in events, in places where they can
Mm-hmm.
have an opportunity for a genuine conversation. Because I always say you can't sit in your own room and feel like you have a knock on your door from people and be
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, this is, I'm your Prince Charming, or I'm like your princess and
Yeah.
here I am. So that is not going to happen. Man is a social animal, and you're going to have to put yourself out there. And with the good intentions, I think the universe always uh, there are no coincidences. So we always meet with the people who are meant to be in our life for one reason or another.
Yes, so true. And you know what? I was just reflecting on myself, and I always attract people who are depressed always. Like it's I don't know why it's a thing. I mean, obviously, if I don't know if I should see myself, I should reflect on myself if I attract sadness because I love sadness so much, or if like there is something that I need to like interact with them. So that's healing about our relationship. So that's a circle I'm stuck in between.
I think I started observing this for myself a few years back. Now it has
Uh-huh.
gotten to a point where I'm used to it, but it generally happens when I think other people need us because we are into that space. And also at times it acts as a test where I am constantly meeting people who want to take like advantage of my kindness or advantage of the things that I can provide them with, and it acts like as a lesson for us as well. So it goes
Mhm,
both ways. Sometimes people need it, but sometimes they're just like they act as a reflection for us, where they can be like big energy vampires, where
mhm.
the work that needs to be done is from our part, where we
Yeah.
have to have like our boundaries intact. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think it happens as well.
Yeah. And you know something you said about transactional relationships? I also had this conversation with that friend of mine that she was saying how, so she is from here. So she was saying how Western European relationships are so transactional, which obviously I have seen too. But maybe if they are deeper, maybe they go out of love. Maybe they are out of love. I don't know. But if you go to Eastern Europe or Balkan or Asia, or the relationships that you are so social, are um, from this place of love. That I have met a lot of Asian, Eastern European people that are not like, oh, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. It's not one to one. It's always giving energy, and obviously that's not good in certain situations as well. It can go to an extreme sense, and people can say, oh, what will society think of us? Don't do that for our own for their own kids. But yes, I think there is some balance that people need to find between individuality and the social um society, or giving out of love that can lead to a healthy relationships in their social world.
Yes, I as for me, I think it always comes to my mind that
Hmm.
whenever I don't want to, like if somebody I think is being a little clingy or whatever, and I don't want to like answer back, or I don't want to have an interaction, but then I also feel like sometimes or oftentimes I feel like if not me, like I feel like that is who I am, and I have to show them
Hmm.
that this is also okay. I don't have to just like uh, have this logical mind come into all of my decision making. So oftentimes I just like go out there, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So I have to take a back seat. But then
Hmm.
at other times, I also feel like I have to like tell people in my life or show people in my life or around my life that we can push ourselves for a little bit of more of kindness. We can push ourselves for a little bit of like unbiased efforts or a little bit of extra love towards others. And if all of
Mm.
us kind of start to do that, we are going to have a beautiful environment and uh,
Yeah.
group of people around us.
Yeah, exactly. But people are so hurt. The people have so many traumas. They're scared to open their heart, even in friendships. Like they have trust issues. I talked to someone who was like, "Why do I even have to make or be in friendships when they are going to leave ultimately?" So I just said, okay, maybe they can't replace what you once had, but just because something's gonna end, you're not gonna make new memories. You're not gonna stop living your life. Like starting, beginning, preservation, and ending, these are just like the three truths of nature, and everything and every single one of thing is going to go through that. So just because it's like the universal truth doesn't mean you're not gonna do everything that comes between or those three steps. So yeah, you have to get that trust back from people, get
Exactly. I
going
think if
out, and yeah.
if things are repeated constantly, like after 2 3 times, okay, that is like a great feedback that you need to stop putting the efforts one sided,
Hmm.
right? If there are no reciprocation of love, of efforts. But sometimes people are into that protective mode themselves. They're like, they hurt themselves, so they feel like the other person is also in it for the gains only. And sometimes you have to show people that it is possible to
Hmm.
give without any expectations, and people can open up to you in return as well. So I believe in that philosophy where I can show people what is possible and hope that they can open up as well.
That's a nice philosophy, yes. I think it'll spread to osmosis from from people to people.
Next thing that we have is about purpose, the purpose conversation, the purpose DMs that we've gotten. And it's always on the similar lines of uh, passion versus purpose versus job, and what's the difference, and how do we navigate that space where we connect all of those things to have like a fulfilling life. And I always feel like the main distinction that I tell people about passion and purpose is passion is for ourselves and the gifts that you have. But when
Mhm.
you start to connect those gifts for other people, to other people, in service to other people, that becomes like your mission, that becomes your purpose. And the financial thing, when you kind of connect that with money as well, that is something that we have when we say we've had a good career, we've had those good milestones, the materialistic milestones. That's what the career zone is. But the purpose zone is mainly when we get connected to humanity, in service to humanity, I would say. What about
Yeah.
you, Manya? What do you think for our purpose and passion conversation that we've gotten?
I think along the similar lines as you, like for me, passion, I always thought my passion was to do something in like entertainment, sort of be an artist, like dancing or acting. But I think my purpose is something what I can do through it, a message that I would like to send through it. So, as you said, purpose is that because we are doing it for the people, and passion is something we do for ourselves. So, if you combine both of those, then like it's amazing for you, right? So you send a nice message through your art. But also I think that passion sometimes fizzles out as well, but purpose is something that keeps you going. So maybe today I want to send this message through a podcast, tomorrow I want to send this message by making short movies or writing stories. So it just keeps on changing as I grow up. So I think passion is ever changing, but purpose stays with you, in the sense that even if you get like thousand of obstacles, the purpose is something, if you somebody throws obstacles at you, still you keep on doing that because it's something that you're so committed to. So if you're not getting any approval from people for sorts, like if there's some other career that you're doing just for financial gains and your boss doesn't praise you, your parents say doesn't approve of this career or a job, so there is some kind of dissatisfaction that you have inside, in yourself towards your career. But a purpose, if this thing happens, you're like, I don't care if you approve of this or not. This is something that I need to do, that I want to do, and I will do it. So I think that's a big distinct difference between purpose and passion. And also, if you don't see immediate results in terms of your purpose, you still keep on going because you are not doing that for the outcome. So these are some of the differences that I have noticed, especially through my journey only, that have come to light between passion and purpose, that I would say for me. What do you think about then the 9 to 5 jobs and everything?
I would first like to add a little bit about the passion. The artist thing was coming to my mind, where
Mm-hmm,
I see a lot of the artists kind of like ditching their gift, ditching their arts over
mm-hmm,
time because they don't get that materialistic success that they've hoped to get. And that is what made them pursue the art, the passion, right?
mm-hmm,
Because we look at the bigger picture, and I feel like you pick up anything in life, the bigger picture, if you're seeing it, obviously that's like a successful, nice stage.
mm-hmm,
But what is the shit sandwich, as I like to use the term, I've heard it from somebody, what is the shit sandwich that you are willing to go through? Because you
mm-hmm,
have to go through those hard work phases, you have to go through those failures, uh, those struggling phases. What shit sandwich are you willing to go through, and
mm-hmm,
for something uh, greater, right? So that is what brings out our connection to our purpose. And if you're not working towards that, if we don't acknowledge that, our passion will one day or another will fade out, and we are going to
yeah.
be like, okay, this is not the thing, and we are going to shift back to the 9 to 5 thing for our
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
survival. But I also feel like, again, I have no kind of judgment towards 9 to 5. A lot of the career coaches, a lot of the life coaches that we have today start to have like a strong dislike towards the 9 to 5 culture, because we are like trying to shift everyone towards the purpose conversation. But I also feel like until and unless you have had that adrenaline rush of having those
mm-hmm,
milestone, of coming first in a class, of coming first in a competition, of getting that validation, until and unless you have had those experiences, you can't push someone and to a stage where you're like, okay, you have to
yeah.
go out after your purpose, after your passion. You have to go through those
Mm-hmm,
stages, and once like you feel a little satisfied with that external
mm-hmm,
validation, your soul will naturally divert. Your soul will
yeah.
naturally recalibrate towards the purpose conversation. So it's going to be an organic process for all of us. And that has always been my take on 9 to 5. It's your journey,
Yeah.
and sooner or later, or you might not even need the purpose conversation because you've had like a very good balance.
Satisfaction.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like the work life balance you've had. Or a lot of the people who are into 9 to 5, they take out time. My one of the uncles, he loves painting, so he stays up all night for his painting passion. And then he wakes up every day for, he's a doctor, so he wakes up every day early in the morning for his doctor occupation, but his artistic
Mhm.
dream was to become a painter. So every night
Yeah.
he wakes up till 3 or 4 a.m. to do his like the painting thing. So I think that's a very fulfilling life to have. So if you can
Yeah.
balance that out, it's great.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And also, as you said, you don't have anything against 9 to 5. Not inherently bad, because if someone is also a conscious entrepreneur, like the conscious has a conscious business, obviously they also have people working for them. So if you have like a job that fulfills all your requirements, that's also a fulfilling job. You don't necessarily have to have a purpose, right? So that's also very fulfilling. So you don't need to feel that pressure, or have to find my purpose. It's okay. It is going to come organically, because at every stage of life, we want more, more, more. And when all our needs are fulfilled, like just the self-actualization pyramid, all the needs are fulfilled, the money, the everything, even then we want more. And then automatically we shift towards that, what's my purpose? We ask ourselves that question. So just because you see your peers asking themselves right now, doesn't mean that you are any late, or there's anything wrong with. So I don't want them to feel left out.
No, I'd also like to add your purpose is your essence, your vibrational frequency. What are you bringing to the world every single day?
Mhm.
So, if you are into a 9 to 5 job, what is your energy in that? If
Mhm.
you like, you are a giving person, you are a caring person, you are a logistic person. So, you are a very, you're a person who have like great attention to details, or who brings coffees, or who brings gifts to other people, who loves to check on
Mhm.
other people. So, who you are inherently as a
Yeah.
person is your purpose. So, you don't have to go out of the way to figure out something out of the lines and pressurize yourself that, a great purpose is there and you're not finding it. That is not
Mhm.
sometimes who you are every single day, how you are living your life, and how other people around you are experiencing you is your purpose as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't say that just because you follow your purpose, your life will automatically become rainbows and sunshines. Like you won't face any resistance. Of obviously there will be more resistance in that path because the universe has to test your commitment. But then you would just get going because that's something you truly want because that is your essence, as you said. You can't divert from that. And also like because also you'll think, oh, I'm doing something good, I'm showing up in such a conscious and loving way, I wouldn't have any resistance. But that's not true because I've seen everyday people living their purpose, and then there are people who just, I don't know, I wouldn't say have problem with it, but they seem to have problem with people just doing good deeds, like questioning them every day. I'm sure it must have happened with you as well, Antriksha. Like people are like, why are you doing this? And it happened to my sister as well. And she doesn't even do anything out of the like box or anything. She is just doing a normal deed of feeding stray dogs. I mean, it's a very good deed. Obviously, they need food. So she just goes out every evening and feeds them. But somebody from the neighborhood was walking there, and then they said, you please don't feed them because they bite us. So she just calmly asked where did, and we had to get like 20 injections or something. So she said, okay, 20 injections, maybe then the wound must be really deep. Can you show me where he bit you or something? Because I have been there. They are very calm unless and until you do something. They don't even bark at you. And I was someone who doesn't feed them. I was new there and they didn't bark at me or anything. So obviously dogs don't initiate. But then they started abusing her, and then they started shouting at her, and obviously she got really scared and she was like, should I do this? Because then I'm alone outside. So I said, you have so many dogs, just tell them to go attack.
Arey,
Like self-fulfilling prophecy,
such a
they said they
non-spiritual
bit
thing
her. Yeah,
you've
I
advised
know.
her to.
Like, but the self-fulfilling fulfilling prophecy, they said they bit her, then maybe the dog might. But no, but yeah, she really got scared after that. And I said, no, it's fine. You're just doing a good date. And these people are going to come in the way and say that, but that don't let that get to your head or stop you from doing something you truly want to do.
That's
Like,
why I
I
say,
don't
like,
understand. Yeah.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
keep going.
I was just saying, like, I don't understand, like, what do people have against people just living their life and just doing their thing that's just making the world a better place? Why don't people question politicians so much when they are taking steps that not in the interest of people, like in the wide interest of people? Like,
See,
I don't get it.
politician thing is something that they don't have the means to have a communication with, right?
Mm,
It's like a far off thing. But with other people around them, obviously, I think it can go for like the older generation, for people who are in our parents' age or the grandparents' age. Obviously, they get triggered because in a way they feel like, why and how do we have the freedom to pursue something that is not the norm, right? So it
mm-hmm,
triggers them in a way that they have suffered so much, they have done, like, they followed a particular routine, a 9 to 5 or whatever, and how can the younger generation go out of it? So it triggers their uh, lack of freedom that they've had in their life, and that is why. But I also feel like, coming back to what I shared earlier, that for me, I feel like I have to show them, like, not the older generation, but I have to show other people like what is possible as well as too, because sometimes I feel like people need to see that there is a way of life where we can choose kindness, where we can choose to do things in our own way, and the society's advices are not always the thing that they need to like stick by, and we can
Mhm.
make our own ways of life. So sometimes I feel like people just need to have like an example in front of them, and that can push them for their own like highest purpose, highest passion, highest life that they can have for themselves. So I feel like sometimes they just need to see that, and if you have some passion, if you have some like a good thought within yourself, it is your responsibility to bring that into fruition and let the noise cut out.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And if you have any other questions that you want us to address, you can always drop it in the comment box or send us in DM. But it's better to drop it in the comment because I don't check my DMs that often and they are flooded. So it's hard to like, it gets lost sometimes.
Okay, so Manya, a general overview for the next year. You wish to start, or I can go, whatever feels right.
Okay, you start and then because I have more of like a shift and so you give a
Okay.
general overview for next year and then I'll
I
continue
personally
from there.
am very excited for the upcoming year. The numerological aspect is 2024 is year number 8. So it's all about manifestation and abundance and things coming into fruition. But at the same time, like 8 is a number of karma, 8 is a number of balance, power, abundance. And I feel like, it's going to be drastic in the sense that if you are putting your heart and soul into something, you are going to get beautiful results for it. But if you're trying to have like tricks for something, or if you're cheating in a relationship or in your career, if you're trying to find shortcuts, it's going to be like things are going to be go really downhill for you. And so because 8 is like it can put you on the top or it can put you at the bottom, so it's all
Mm,
based on how our dedication, how our devotion is towards life, towards ourselves. And I'm very excited for it. I also feel like the karmic aspect, I would say, the more you're bringing things into alignment, the more you're bringing things into balance for yourself. Right. So the karma is going to be very instant. So the more you're working on yourself, the more you're going to be feeling that inner power and strength. And quickly, the manifestations and abundance is going to happen for you. The 8 also represents like the top circle, represents our spiritual, intellectual plane, and the bottom circle represents our materialistic, physical reality. So whatever is happening here is going to happen there. Whatever is happening there is going to happen here. So I'm very excited for it all. And I hope all of us have like a really prosperous and abundant year.
yes, I hope the same. And I really like your explanation about that. Like that was really nice
Also,
because
if you
I've
have,
heard like yeah,
I remember you, like if you have numbers in your date of birth. So if you have like 8, 17, 26, obviously
I have
2024,
it.
2024 itself has
I have
8.
in my time also.
Yeah, so if you have like the addition of those things, if you have 8 anywhere, the month of August is 8, 8, 17, 26,
Mhm.
birth dates are
Mhm.
8, and the year is 8. So it's going to be like a year for you.
Okay, let's see. I hope so. Okay. But every year is year for me, so I'm fine. Earlier used to be, oh, this would be my year, but it doesn't turn out that way. But now I just put in so much action that it does. I mean, there are moments that it made this year my year. I don't need. So I'm content that way right now, but let's see, very excited. Okay, now I'll just take you towards the general shifts that are happening in this in our earth no how do I say it in our world consciousness right now that I'll show you the new earth. So First of all, the first shift is that we are going through. It has been very evident this year that there's a massive shift towards the feminine energy. So you will have more women-centric brands, more women-centric businesses that are on the rise. Makeup, clothes, textiles, fashion, anything, very feminine energy. And that doesn't mean that it's only in terms of women. Also, men would be more involved in these things. And also, there'll be massive shift in how businesses are done, from controlling to empowerment, from competition to competitiveness. So shift towards feminine in that way. And also, if you're someone who still thinks that aggression is the way to show affection, I feel sorry for you. That won't go in this new earth, that you won't be able to keep up with it. Then I would say the new paradigm shift that we are going through, then you have to, like, you will be pushed. If you don't take conscious decision to change this mindset, then you will be pushed to change this mindset of by the universe, that this aggression and everything that you show is love. Love is love, that comes from bottom of the heart, that's sweet, that's nice, that makes other people feel good about themselves and feel good about you. And yeah, and also to process this, you have to learn how to process anger, sadness in a healthy way, and not shove them down. And the second shift, and also, like, you know how so many psychics and life coaches also practice feng shui, so they have also mentioned a lot of times that we are entering period 9. I'm not sure if you've heard that. So this period 9 is also something that they said that it goes towards feminine energy, goes towards women, the rise of women, and also rise of more social media, rise of technology in that way. So it's, I think they explained it this way, that it's the year of element fire, the period of element fire. And fire can spread very fast, but it can also spread so fast that it can engulf you. So you have to think about that. And this year that we were in, period 8, was an earth element. So it was very materialistic, very stable, successful oriented. But now it'll be more eccentric, out of the box, something of that sort. And second shift that we are going through is like the flattening of the hierarchies that is happening. So this is very evident in and has started, I would say, you can see it in social media, because if you go 2 generations back, there was a gap between our grandparents and the stars, or the people who had fame. So there was a huge gap. But now, if you can see, like, everyone has come to that level of fame, and the one true star that has kind of sort of gone down and spread among, like, more people. So I would say, like, slowly, but this change will also come, that the wealth that the top 1% has spreads across more people, and there's more equitable wealth distribution among the people. And lastly is that right now, everyone and the generation before, everyone was in this sort of sacrificial energy, that I want to sacrifice for my community to make it a better place. But now it'll be, how can I improve myself so that I can contribute to the community? So this is some of the shifts that will happen. And if you want to keep up, obviously you have to do the inner work to shift with the new consciousness. So let's see. This is something I got. What do you think? How do you feel about it? Did that make sense at all?
Yes. Again, it all it only got me more excited because it had all the nice elements to it. And yes, I feel like again it's like a reflection of what you put into the year. And I feel like, yeah, the year is going to be a direct reflection of your own truth.
Mhm.
So if you are going to put in the work, you're going to get good results, especially with all the energy and with your own self belief. I think the combination is going to be beautiful for all of us.
Yeah. And just lastly, I want to add that if you see something like terrible, I wouldn't say terrible happening, but wars and stuff, or economies falling, that's because they didn't have a strong foundation. And now when the band-aid is ripped and the wound needs to heal, the ugly parts have to come out so that they can heal from within. So keep that in mind. Don't let adversity get to your head, and pray for like good well-being of people.
Yes, prayers are extremely powerful. And I think, again, it brings us back to the starting point of our episode where we discussed about intention. Our intentions and prayers makes a huge difference, and have good intentions in your heart and the universe will always have your back.
Yeah. Then I'll miss you. See you next season.
Yes, Panda. See you. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good year, everyone. Have a good time until we meet next.
Bye.